Approaching 3 months into the technological singularity, it's March 6, 2014. The People's Radio.
The People's Radio is brought to you by the working class. The thoughts and opinions expressed on the People's Radio do not necessarily reflect the thoughts and opinions of the People's Radio, of the supporters of the People's Radio, or of anyone else. You have been warned.
Welcome in, everyone. March 6, 2014. About 3 months into the singularity. I know there's a lot of misconception out there. A lot of people think that the singularity is going to be this event that's, just suddenly happens. But that's actually not the case at all. The singularity is going to be a time period in the 21st century where technology itself accelerates beyond pace of advancement that we can readily keep up with. A single person can keep up with. And I want to give some examples of that. Each episode, I want to try to give some examples of how our technology is accelerating at an ever-increasing pace. And this is very important because we're used to living in a society where you have a major advancement or breakthrough once a year, once every 6 months, once every 2 years. But that is suddenly becoming not the case. We have 3 million PhDs in China that are just now coming out of school. They're getting ready to actually go into the lab, go into the workforce, and make a difference, discover things. And the Chinese government has declared that they will find a way to fund their research. China is doing the exact opposite that America is doing. They seem to be running towards science, and America seems to be running away from science currently. Now, I'd love to explain exactly why that is, of course, but maybe that's for another show. Welcome, Venus Project listeners. Welcome to the show. This is the second episode being broadcast live from the state of Florida and then recorded into podcast form for your listening pleasure every Thursday at 7 p.m. Now, eventually we hope to get this thing going 5 days a week, 6 days a week, 7 days a week, because the singularity does not stop. Technological advancements do not stop. News never stops. So, the studio is in the works. It will be constructed. It will be built. I've got some equipment already ordered and on the way. So, it's happening. We're going to do this together. Let's start off talking about Human Longevity Incorporated. Human Longevity Incorporated is a brand new company that was founded by a group of doctors, right? It's a genomics and cell therapy diagnostic and therapeutic company. Its primary focus, its 100% focus, is to extend the lifespans of humans significantly. Now, I don't have anything to do with this company. I don't have any investor relations with this company. So I'm not pushing this company as some sort of stock or investment opportunity. I'm bringing it up because this is the type of stuff that humans need to be spending their time doing. The days of sitting in a factory and just installing one part on a car over and over and over again all day long is coming to a close. We are there at the end of that. We are at the tail end of the period of the worker, the working man. It's all coming to an end. But anyway, back to Human Longevity Incorporated. It's based out of San Diego, and they have a $70 million seed budget, which is, their first round of investing raised $70 million, and that's what they're going to start off on. Now, let me just say that a company like this is extremely exciting, and people have a vested interest in this. People want to live longer; they want to live forever. So, this is the type of company that you would normally see a stock or what have you, take off kind of really get ahead of itself, because people get excited about new technologies, they get excited about new companies, they get excited about new directions. And that's sort of the whole point of this show, is somebody needs to be chronicling for the future the rapid advancements that humanity went through in the 21st century and how they responded to those advancements. And it's incredibly important that we do this, because there is two different ways that this could go. There's two primary ways that this could go. I'm not exactly sure, that this is the right time or segment to talk about it. But citizens, the technocrats are getting ready to leave you, literally. They are getting ready to take the Mars transport. They are getting ready to set up their own little libertarian utopia. They want to take their human longevity patents. They want to take their spaceships. They want to take their Virgin Galactics, and they want to go to Mars. They want to leave you. They want to leave all of you to just be workers. I want you to think about that. You think I'm crazy? Well. We'll see. We'll see if I'm crazy. Now, a lot of people are tuning in to hear about, what are we going to do as a movement? What are we going to do as a movement? What does this show have to do with the technological singularity? And I'm going to talk more about that in the second segment. But right now, with a few minutes left before the break, there's something very important that we need to discuss. Folks, I want to talk to you about Goldline. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not that guy. I'm the opposite of that guy. I'm the guy that's on your side. I'm the guy that's going to tell you the truth every single time. I'm the guy that's not after your money. I'm here for your participation. I'm here to inform you, to let you know what is going to happen, to let you know that you currently live in the most exciting technological revolution humanity has ever seen. But there's two different ways this can go. And that's what I was talking about earlier. There's two different ways this can go. Technology is the greatest gift, the greatest power humanity has ever discovered. It's the greatest power that we have. It's the greatest power that we know of. Human technology has changed our entire species from the ground up. Every single thing about our societies, the way that we function, the way that we interact, the way that we go about our lives, the way that we live our lives, how long we live our lives, how healthy we are. Every single thing has been radically transformed by technology. And we're just getting started. And I talked about this on the first show. We are just getting started. This is just the opening act. You look at the 20th century, you look at all of the inventions that came through, and you see the turmoil there between religion and technology, religion and science. And that right there is just the beginnings of the opening act. That is when humanity is just starting to learn something is not right. Something is different from what we expected it to be. And that's what technology brings. Humans can be so certain of the future. They can be so certain that they have it all figured out. But technology, empiricism, the scientific method, always finds a way to throw a wrench into our plans and to be like, oh, did you know that? You didn't know that. This bit of information is pretty much the exact opposite of what you expected. I'm reminded of the old anecdote that, the greatest words in science, the words of discovery is not eureka, but, that's funny. Because when you're running an experiment and you get results that you don't expect, that's when you learn something new. But what are the two different ways that this can go? Let's talk about this. Technology is a gift. And with technology, we can do some incredible things. And I hope you stick around for all of this program, because I want you to hear the types of things that we are planning to do with technology just in the next 5 years. Just starting this year, actually. We'll get to that. technology can go two different ways. And right now in North Korea, we have a situation, folks. We have a situation. Many of you may or may not know that North Korea has a 5 megawatt nuclear reactor. Now, North Korea is one of those countries, it's all, we're a nuclear country, we have nuclear capability, but every single time that outsiders check in on their capability and try to assess where they are in this capability, we always find out that they're dangerously behind, that they're always not doing it right, not doing it proper, not using the right safety equipment or whatever. This is the perfect example of this. This right here, this was released as a press release by Jane's, right? Jane's publication is a British publication that focuses on aerospace, military, transportation, engineering, stuff like that. Basically all the things that we, the People's Radio, love to talk about and love to track. And the North Korean reactor didn't really work all that well for a while, and they shut it down for a long time. And it was well known throughout the international community that the reactor was not exactly the best reactor ever built. And there was some safety concerns back when they shut it down, but they have reopened it. Listen to me, Americans. The North Koreans have reopened their reactor. Now, this is what the experts that track these things have said. Quote, the reactor is built on Soviet Union technology, and even the Soviet Union, which had more advanced technology than North Korea does, could not stop the Chernobyl disaster, and we do not trust that the North can control such a potential accident. January 26th, that was Jane's publication. They continue. They continue, because this cannot be stressed enough. It is highly likely, still quoting Jane's, that the reactor in Yongbyon will catch fire. I repeat, will catch fire. And in that case, the fire will not be controlled properly. And it will lead to terrible consequences. That's a quote from the experts that track such a thing. Basically, in a nutshell, they designed an old reactor that was based on older technology, older materials, older manufacturing capabilities. And there's these pipes. I'm not a nuclear reactor technician, so I have no idea what I'm talking about. But there's these pipes that apparently are they have a history of overheating and catching fire, what have you. And they believe that the nuclear reactor in North Korea is going to do that. And the North Koreans have responded to this by full speed ahead. We need that power. Folks, this is dangerous. I mean, you, the listener, at this point should be thinking, really? There's not like a international rule or there's not like a Captain Hindsight that will come in and save us from the crazy North Koreans and their 1970s nuclear reactor? And the answer is no. There's nobody to save you. There's nobody to stop this, because we now live inside the technological singularity. We live in the 21st century, where even the Hermit Kingdom, a place that is foreign to technology and technological advances, a place that is very hostile to knowledge and the advancement of the human race, has their own nuclear reactor. I can't say this enough. What are we thinking? This is dangerous. This is dangerous times that we live in. And, I mean, if anybody can just set up a nuclear reactor and run it, and you have engineers and experts saying, this is dangerous, you shouldn't be running it, and there's nothing we can do to stop them, then, wow, welcome to the 21st century. I am now convinced more than ever that we must, as a species, get a handle on our technology before it gets a handle on us. We'll see you after the break. All right, folks, welcome back to the second segment of the People's Radio, March 6, 2014. Now, look, we need to hammer out some things, right? I mean, I can sit here and I can ramble on the microphone for hours on end, like Glenn Beck or Mark Levin or anybody else. You know, Tom Hartman is one of my heroes. But I mean, let's look at this here. Let's look at what we're trying to do. Organizing for Humanity is attempting to organize humanity, the human species, into a cohesive 21st century movement. A movement that transcends... Okay, let's get there. Let's start with a statement of principles. What is it that we are trying to accomplish? Because I've received that question a number of times. What is it that we're trying to accomplish here at Organizing for Humanity and the People's Radio? Well, we believe that all human beings deserve to be fed. All human beings deserve to be housed. All human beings deserve proper clothing. All human beings deserve a good, decent job with a good wage, good job conditions, good safety. All human beings deserve a chance to pursue happiness. Now that's just the beginning. That's just the first 5 years. Folks, we're going to cure all diseases. Every last one of them. Don't doubt it for a second. If you're over 35 years old and you're listening to me, don't even worry about it. Just turn off the program. Don't even worry about it. You were probably the last generation to die. Us millennials will experience the technological singularity. And there is a good chance, if we get down to the nitty-gritty now, if we actually get going, we get organized, and we transcend our petty politics, our petty nationalities, if we actually get a good technological movement going, there's a good chance that those people below 35, those people in the millennials category, has a chance at immortality, practical immortality. Of course, I talked about this on the first program. Nobody can live forever, because forever's not even forever. The universe itself has an ending. But we can eradicate all human disease. There is nothing in science that says we cannot do that. We have been working on that for the past 100 years. We will continue to work on that for the next 100 years. We will continue to work on it some more. But I'm going to tell you right now how we can get it going. How we can get this going, and I'm talking about right now within the next 5 years. Folks, are you folding at home? Are you folding? Have you installed the program on your computer? Have you? Let me tell you what we're trying to do. We're trying to get a movement going where we can get millions of computers folding at home. We could finish the project. We really could. There's a finite number of proteins. There's a finite number of ways that they can fold. The project can be finished. Now, currently, people look at me and they say, "Finish folding at home? That's just insanity. It would take calculations many orders of magnitude more powerful than we currently have." Well, that's good. That's good to hear, because the first quantum computer's coming online this year, folks, 2014. We are behind the times. We should have had 5 million computers crunching on folding at home for the past 10 years. We should have done this. We should already be ahead of ourselves. But we're not. We're behind. So you know what? We're going to do it. We're going to do it. We will organize ourselves. We are going to cure cancer. We are going to cure illnesses. Now, I don't promise you this, because there are no guarantees in life. It is possible that we could, in fact, spend all of this time and energy folding at home for the next 70 years. We could have every single computer on the planet, every single quantum computer on the planet for the next 70 years working on folding at home, and we still don't cure cancer. We still don't cure diabetes or leukemia or what have you. That is a very real possibility, but I refuse to live in that mindset. I refuse to live in that society. I refuse to live in a world where every day I wake up and it's just like, what's the point? What's the point? I'll tell you what the point is. The point is for humanity to ascend to its rightful place to demigod status. It is time to become transhuman. And we're going to do it. We're going to do it. Nothing's going to stop us. No one person can stop us. No one political party can stop us. No one country can stop us. Nothing can stop the advancement of the human race. We are past the Dark Ages. We're past that. The days of censoring information so that people don't become educated are long gone. I mean, even now in Afghanistan, we have little girls getting books and going to school, and the Taliban is having a heart attack. Oh, the humanity! It's the number one thing that they are scared to death of. They are scared that a human being will learn. A human being will gain knowledge. They are scared of that. There's a war going on, folks. There's a real war going on. Evil and good. But it's not as clear-cut as people think it is. Because we are all a product of our own environment. We're all a product of our society. If you were born in Afghanistan, chances are you're a Muslim today. If you were born in rural Kentucky, chances are you are a Christian today, even though that word in American society has been diluted to mean, I go to a building once a week. It doesn't actually have a concrete. Anyway, let's talk about how we're going to do this. How are we going to do this in society? How are we going to build the technological singularity? How are we going to organize ourselves into the technological singularity? Well, we have to become transhuman. But that's 20 years down the road. It's 20 years down the road, folks. It's 25 years down the road. It might even be 30 years down the road. Transhumanism is coming. It's coming. Look at your smartphones. Your smartphone's just an enhancement of you. You carry it with you. You use it as a tool to enhance your ability to communicate, to be productive, to be informed. Every single thing that you do is enhanced by that smartphone. And that's just the beginning. That is just our first step. That is our baby step. We are going to go even farther in the future. Eventually, we'll have implants in our heads. Well, you think I'm crazy? No, I'm not crazy. Eventually, we will have implants in our heads. Eventually, we will all be connected all the time. Eventually, we will all be linked up. It's going to happen. If it doesn't happen in our lifetimes, it will happen in our children's lifetimes or their children's lifetimes. It is going to happen. People demand this. They want this. They want to be connected constantly. They want to be online constantly. They want to have the entire summation of all human knowledge just right there, just a thought away. They want to be able to Google in their heads. It's going to happen. It will happen. But we can't start there. No, we can't start there. Because the world is divided. And that is the primary message of the People's Radio. Breaking down the divisional wall of society. In the first episode, I talked about the two different classes. And it's true. I've been on both sides of the fence, people. Listen to me. I know what I'm talking about. There's two different classes in society. The rich man and the working man. And that's just the truth. And let me tell you the difference between a rich man and a working man. A working man will wake up one day and he will get an idea. And he will say, I have an idea to change the world. I have an idea to feed every single human on the planet. I have an idea to house every single human being on the planet. I have an idea that will give clothes to every single human being on the planet. I have an idea that will give a job and a purpose and a meaning to every single human life on the planet. But I can't do anything about it because I'm broke. I ain't got no money. I'm broke. That's a working man. A working man says, I have invented the cure to cancer. And if only I can get it to market. But he can't get it to market. Because he has to go through all the red tape. He has to found a pharmaceutical company and this and that, blah, blah. Got regulations. It takes millions of dollars just to get a drug into clinical trials. Now, don't mishear me, people. Do not mishear what I'm telling you. That system is in place to protect us. We have a system in place to protect us from bad pharmaceutical drugs and bad science and rushed science. But I'm not talking about that sort of advancement. I'm not talking about that sort of technological idea. In fact, forget about it. It was a horrible analogy because the working man doesn't cure cancer. Cancer is an extremely complex problem. It's going to take many years to solve. And the only way that we're going to solve it is if we fold all the proteins. That is bankable knowledge, people. That is knowledge that is put away into a computer that cannot be taken from us. We now have it, and doctors can pull it up, scientists can pull it up whenever they want. No, that's curing cancer was a horrible analogy. Let's just talk about a car. Since we were talking about Tesla Motors in the first episode, let's talk about a car. A working man will come up with an idea for a car, and he'll say, I want this car. This is the best car ever made. I've designed it this way. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. It's going to get great gas mileage. This is going to be wonderful. But he's unable to get it to market. Why? Because it takes millions of dollars. You need manufacturing capabilities. You need secretaries. You need accountants. You need engineers. You need the infrastructure in place in order to make this happen. The rich man, on the other hand, wakes up one day and says, I got an idea. And he makes a phone call, and he moves some money around, and some ones and zeros in a computer change, and he opens up his own company. He opens up his own manufacturing plant. He opens up what he needs to get this idea done, and then, hey, if he finds out that idea was stupid and it sucks, well, and then he finds it out. He loses some money. That's how the free market is supposed to work. But a free market cannot work, folks. A free market cannot work if people can't enter it. If it is a privileged zone. A place where only the rich man can play. A place where only a rich man can bring his wealthy toys. Now, why am I bringing this up? Why am I talking about this? Folks, we are going to crowdsource massive infrastructure projects. We are going to come together. And we are going to fund, design, develop, test, and build massive worldwide infrastructure projects. And why are we going to do this? Simple. Our politicians have been stuck in bureaucracy. We, the people, are in need. We're in serious need. We're in need now. 2 billion people on this planet go without food on any given day. 2 billion with a B. I want that to sink in. Something is wrong. Something needs to be done. How are we going to do it? Well, we could just get together and fund farms. But that's not going to work. That's a stupid idea. If you tuned in to hear that idea, well, that's not much of an idea at all. So, I want you to know that's not the idea. And after the break, we're actually going to start to talk about the idea. So if you're from the Venus Project, stick around. I promise we're getting to it in the very next segment. Moving along, People's Radio. Folks, I know I ramble a lot, but let's just get down to it. The human race is in need of food. The human race is in need of power. The human race is in need of clean water. And we need to supply that to every single human being on planet Earth, and we need to do it now. We need to do it within the next 5-10 years. We need to do it in preparation of the technological singularity. We need to do it in preparation of the coming of our one world global economy, in preparation of our resource-based economy. And in the fourth segment, I will talk more about resource-based economy. But right now, I'm going to talk about how we can actually get infrastructure out to human beings in need right now, starting immediately. We're going to have a website up and running real soon. As it stands right now, we are on Reddit. It's r/The People's Radio, if you can remember that. And we are going to be basing our operations off our Reddit first, and then we'll spread out from there to our official website, which should be up and running within a couple of weeks. The official website is going to contain the podcast from the People's Radio, as well as information. It will have a blog where I and some other experts go over news articles, so that we can keep you, the listener, informed of what's happening. Because this is a movement, folks. This is not a passive listening thing. This is something that you get involved with, and you're on board with, or you're not. We are going to set up food and energy production centers worldwide. We're going to build thousands of them worldwide. These food and energy production centers will produce food for the surrounding communities and electricity and energy in surplus to the surrounding communities. We are going to harness solar power, wind power, geothermal power, and ocean current power. We are going to build fish farms, massive ocean fish farms. We're talking about feeding entire countries here, people. And this is all going to happen within the next 10 to 15 years. But we can't start off there. We can't just jump into it. If I had $1 billion, if I knew someone with $1 billion, I would already be constructing these ideas instead of being on the internet informing you, the listener, of what's going to happen. We have to start small, because you can't just jump out into the world and say, I'm going to change the world, and then just start building and constructing. You actually have to get a plan. You have to get your ducks in a row, so to speak, and then you have to start working on that plan. Well, right now we're in phase 1. Phase 1 is mission critical, folks. Mission critical is the establishment of the People's Radio, which will be designed from the ground up to be an anti-propaganda network, if you will. There's enough corporate propaganda going on. You don't need any more of that. You need anti-propaganda. You need someone to tell you the truth. You need someone to let you know what's going on. With our technology, with our manufacturing capabilities, with our massive infrastructure projects, we need to stay informed, because that's the only way we're going to survive technological singularity. Let me give you an example. Say somebody cured death in pill form tomorrow, and you were unaware of it. You didn't even know. Well, how is that going to benefit you? That's not going to benefit you at all, right? So only those that are informed can actually benefit from the knowledge that they've learned and they've been informed of. So the People's Radio is established so that you, the listener, you, the member of the movement, can be informed and know what's going on with the movement, what our progress is, what we need to move forward, what we need to get over hurdles. It's just going to be an information outlet. And that's about it. The main primary actions, the work, the majority of the work that will be going on with Organizing for Humanity will not be on the People's Radio. It'll be behind the scenes. Because in order to build projects like this, in order to build food production centers, energy production centers, first of all, you're already upsetting established industry, established corporations, established bureaucracies. So you can't just start building. You can't just start building. If you do, you're going to find yourself in court. I mean, could you imagine if someone was to build a 600-hectare farm in Oklahoma, and they just started giving all the food away for free and shipping it all across the country? Could you imagine? There would definitely be a senator or two getting on Fox News letting us all know how the evil socialists are distributing evil socialistic food to the population, and it's going to disrupt capitalist industry and capitalist food production. And poor Monsanto needs a handout from us, the taxpayer, because somebody's giving away food. You have to understand that the technological singularity is going to change everything. Every single thing that we think we know about the world is about to change. And I'm talking about just in the next 2 to 4 years here, folks. If I'm crazy, you guys are going to find that out real quick. Because I'm making some drastic predictions. But I digress. We're going to build food and energy production facilities. And we're going to build them worldwide. And we're going to start off in America. I'm going to tell you why we're going to start off in America. We're going to give the upper middle class American citizen exactly what they want. We are going to fill a demand. We are going to fill a market niche. We are going to fill a segment of the free market, of the capitalist market. What is it that people are so upset about today? What is it that people get really upset about? They don't really trust their food anymore. They don't really trust their food. You know, some possibly illegal immigrant somewhere was paid possibly below minimum wage to cultivate that food and to not wash it off properly and to ship it to your grocery store, and then by the time you get it, you know, I mean, it could have pesticide residues, and not to mention, this is a completely different topic, completely different show, but you have those people out there that believe that genetically modified means dangerous, means bad science. They don't understand that there's absolutely no difference between genetically modified and non-genetically modified, because we are all genetically modified. You become genetically modified when the sperm meets the egg. That's what happens. But no, they think that genetically modified food is scary, is dangerous, and that's just going to get worse. As technology progresses, the working class is going to pull more and more away from it. They're going to become more and more distant. Do you remember when computers came on the market, how the humanity divided, and it's still divided, even to this day, we're still divided into two different groups. You have computer users and non-computer users. Just imagine how that's going to get worse. Not better. It's going to get worse. History has shown us we suck at educating people. We suck at educating people. We're going to fuck it up. The 21st century is going to start off one big mess. We're looking at 2 billion human souls getting online, getting on the internet, communicating with me and you, listening to this program, talking to you on a daily basis. 2 billion human beings that have never been on the internet will be coming online over the next 5 years for the first time. What's that world going to look like? What's that world going to look like? I'd say it's going to be drastically different than today, because right now there's a hierarchy. There are those who have technology, those that have money, those that live in a first world society, those that have these great and wonderful things, and those that have not. There's not much compassion in the haves over the have-nots. Not really. Not when you think about it. There's not much compassion going on. I mean, people want to talk about charity. Say, oh yes, well, look at Bill Gates, he's giving away his fortune. Look at Warren Buffett, he's giving away his fortune. Folks, they're not giving away their fortune. They're spending their money in a structured way so that they don't lose it in their lifetime. That's not giving away your fortune. I mean, it's better than nothing. Don't get me wrong. It's better than nothing. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has done an incredible service for humanity. But it's time for us to set our sights a little bit higher. It's time for us humans to stop waiting for some rich, well-to-do landowner to come in and to rescue us. It's time to get organized ourselves. It's time to have our own movement, a people's movement, a new labor movement, a transhumanist movement, a technological singularity movement. It's time for all of these things. It's time for an infinite resource-based economy. And you know, in the fourth and final segment this evening, I want to talk about what a resource-based economy is. Now, the people from the Venus Project have been waiting for me to talk about resource-based economy, because that's where we're headed. That's where we're going. Let's just go ahead and talk about it now. Star Trek, Starfleet, this society that we've seen on TV, this society that we've imagined in our dreams, this society where everyone has what they need, no one goes without. Everyone has the education, everyone has food, everyone has housing, everyone has clothing. Everyone has all of these things so that they can set their life up off of these things, right? Because a human being is like a blank slate, and he becomes whatever you draw on him. You mold human beings, you shape them over time. Yes, it's true, there's a lot of genetics there. There's a lot of genetics there. Everything from depression to alcoholism, schizophrenia can be genetic. But then you have the average human, the regular, everyday human. Wakes up, goes to work, comes home. One of the most powerful realizations that we can all have is that at the end of the day, even though our skin color may be different, even though our nationalities may be different, the most powerful realization that a human being can ever have is when they suddenly realize that really we're all just the same. We all experience the exact same lives. We all care about the same things. We all love our families. We all hope to fall in love one day and to be cherished by someone else. We all hope to be successful in our jobs, and we all hope to be smart and accomplished. We all hope to do these things. Now, of course, there are the few humans that don't seem to have these motivations, and here in America, yeah, Republicans, let's talk about those humans all the time and say, oh, well, they don't want to work, they don't want to help themselves, so why should we help them? It's really a wrong way to look at it. I think as we get older, as we progress, our society learns more and more, and we're going to find out that those people probably had some sort of disorder similar to depression. It was a lack of motivation, and I think one day we're gonna figure out why that lack of motivation is there, what causes it, and then how we can fix it. After the break, we're going to talk more about resource-based economy. This is People's Radio. Welcome back to the final segment. Folks, I can't believe this time has passed so fast, and I've told you so little. We have so many plans in the works currently. We have so many projects that are just now getting off the ground. We have so many things that I cannot even begin to tell you about. There are some things that I can tell you about, though. There are some of our projects that have not yet become... let's look at multi-copters. Who here knows what a multi-copter is? Who here knows what a drone is, right? The drones, right? Anybody heard about drones delivering flowers on a college campus? Drones for Amazon delivering books and supplies. Drones at a university campus delivering textbooks to students. This is the future, folks. We have these devices now called multi-copters. And basically what it is they took electric motors and they put, fan blades on them, prop blades for like remote controlled planes. They basically just turn them up at the sky. And you can assemble them in like 4, 6, 8, and then you put a battery on them, and you put a flight board on them. Now that flight board keeps them balanced and keeps them steady and makes them fly so that you can just push a stick and easily fly the thing around and move it around, right? This is off-the-shelf technology, folks. This is what we got right here, right now. For $500, you could buy one, and it could carry a camera. You could fly it around your neighborhood. You could look into your neighbor's backyards or what have you. But we're going to use them for a completely different purpose. We are going to use multi-copters to deliver food to people at a cost of $20 a month. Now I'm going to explain this. We can dream, you and I. We can dream of a world without poverty, without disease. And we can know that that world is coming, and that world is on the horizon, and that we can help it come about. But we can't just hop, skip, and jump over there. We have to start somewhere. We have to start by charging people $20 a month to get food. To get their food. To get their custom food. Custom made food. That's what we're talking about. That's where we're going. This is one of the very first projects I'm very proud to introduce to you this evening. One of the first projects of Organizing for Humanity will be distributed food production and delivery system that delivers food instantaneously by multi-copter. This is how it's going to work. You will have a site near your suburb, near your community, near your apartment building, near your wherever you live, your town in Syria, your city in Mexico, wherever we set these up. And you're going to pay us dues because it's a membership fee. And for that membership, you get a little plot. And that little plot, does this sound familiar? Those of you that actually are familiar with community gardens and leftist philosophies, leftist ideologies, you might start to be thinking, well, this sounds really, really familiar. That's right, because the truth is, there's not much a person can invent anymore. Chances are, if you write a book, somebody else has written that story already. But let's get back to it. Folks, we're going to deliver food by multi-copter. You're going to be able to be standing in your kitchen this time next year. You'll be all, well, I need a tomato from my personal tomato plant. So you pull up your smartphone app. You check the status of your plant. How is your plant doing? You'll be able to check the status of that. Oh, look at that. I got a nice big red juicy tomato on there. And then just one click of a button, you can order that multi-copter to harvest that tomato and to deliver it to your front yard. Bloop. Drop it right off. Instantaneously. Probably take about 45 seconds, 50 seconds for the multi-copter to actually make it from the food distribution center to your house. And this is just the beginning. Our food distribution centers are also going to be energy distribution centers, because not only will they have land plots where people pay to grow their own food that they themselves grow, that they themselves decide what nutrients go into it, what fertilizer goes into it, what cultivation methods go into it. Not only are we creating a church of agriculture, but we are creating a culture of helping yourself, a culture of getting your hands dirty, of making your own food, being involved in the production of your own food. This is the future, folks. This is the future. As jobs start to fall away, as our working hours start to recede, we're going to find ourselves with more and more idle time. Now, I'm sure Joaquin Phoenix can spend his time talking to artificial intelligence and falling in love with her. But that's not going to be all that productive for mankind initially. We're going to have a lot of idle times on our hands in the next 15 years. We need to start getting people accustomed to growing their own food, to knowing how to grow their own food, to knowing how to produce their own food, have it delivered to their house, how to cook with it. These are all valuable skills and knowledge that humans should have and they should carry with them, especially into the second machine age, especially into the future of uncertainty. But we're not going to make everybody. I mean, this is not some sort of movement where we think everyone should be involved and should be on board and should live this way and should act this way or else they're weird. No, we are just filling a need, filling a demand. Folks, if you don't believe me, if you don't believe there's a demand for such a product, go to your local Whole Foods, your local supermarket, your local organic supermarket, and look at the people lined up in grocery carts full of high-priced groceries that they are willingly paying more money for just because the label on it says it's more healthy. Well, I tell you what, there's not a single label in the world that will have anything on us. Custom, tailored food that you yourself get to grow and babysit over your smartphone. You'll be able, folks, the food distribution center is just going to be right down the road, just a couple of blocks from your house. You will be able to walk out and go down with your bicycle or your car or whatever and go check on your food. It'll be a park. Folks, we're going to get the Boy Scouts in there. We're going to get the Girl Scouts in there. We're going to get electric car competitions in there. These will be parks. These will be open to the public. I'm going to tell you why. They're also going to be educational centers. We're also going to produce energy, surplus energy that we give back to the community. Because frankly, the thought of doing a for-profit system like this, where you hold people's food and energy for ransom until they pay you, it's just... I don't see how that can be seen as morally justified. No, we're gonna approach this like a non-profit. We're gonna approach this problem like a non-profit. But that does not necessarily mean that we will not have profit in mind on one or two of our ventures. And the reason why is because some of our non-profit entities will be losing money. So they will need to be bolstered by our for-profit entities. There's a lot to talk about, folks. A lot to get into. And I'm wandering a little bit. I'm getting ahead of myself, so I need to learn to back up. I need to learn that the listener has not been introduced to this plan yet. So this is going to be a massive undertaking. It's going to take years. We're going to need supporters We are going to need your support. Do you want this capability? Do you want to take food production out of the hands of the multinational corporations, the mega corporations? Do you want to bring it back into the hands of the people, of the little guy? I mean, even if you're sitting at home and you're saying, I don't care about any of this stuff, that option should be on the table. The option for human beings to babysit their own food supply and to ensure that it is safe, to ensure that it's non-toxic, that it's all that good stuff. Now, I want to be very clear here in the closing minutes of our show. I want to be very clear. I am in no way saying that food currently produced by the corporations in America is unsafe. I'm not saying that. But it could be argued that there is social anxiety. The public at large is nervous by the thought of a billion-dollar corporation that they've never seen, heard, or talked to. They know nothing about producing their food and delivering their food in ways they don't even know to a grocery store run by 17-year-olds in high school. This is not the optimum food delivery method that we could be having. And this is just one of the first simple adjustments that we can make to our society to move forward together to a resource-based economy. Folks, I need you. We need you to help out on the wiki. We started a wiki. You can go to the Reddit, People's Radio on Reddit, and you can find a link to it. There's a statement of purpose. Now, I will be working on that wiki all week, as well as working on getting a studio up and running, getting equipment in. Folks, I'm committed. I'm committed to this project for life. For the rest of my life, I will be working to bring about a resource-based economy. That's it. That's what the sum of my entire life is going to be. That will be my story after I am gone. I am committed because I am a true believer. Are you? Do you believe humanity has the capability to take such a thing as producing his own food, growing his own food into his hands? Now, this is not going to be an instant transition overnight. Nobody suspects that 100% of people are going to be controlling 100% of their food 100% of the time. It's going to be a very slow, gradual change. And that's why I brought up Whole Foods. That's why I brought up the upper middle class in America, because this is going to start off as a luxury. Think about that. Here in 2014, having your food delivered by multi-copter to your front yard on demand, having custom grown food that you yourself have set how it should grow, what nutrients it should get, what fertilizer it should get. Right now in our society, that is a luxury. Not everybody has land. Not everybody has a garden. Not everybody has the knowledge or ability to garden. We need to get that wiki up and running. We need to have a universal wealth of agricultural knowledge. We need to have a universal wiki that transcends any one language. Because eventually, once we start building our food production centers on a global scale, then we can start distributing that wiki on a tablet for each center. So then you will have right there at the food distribution center all the information that you need in your language to make food however you want it, using our technology, using our food distribution centers. There's a lot more to this, folks. There's a lot more to the plan than just this. This is just the beginning. We're going to power the entire world with solar power. We're going to eliminate all disease by folding all proteins And this is just our opening act. This is just our second week in business. Be sure to tune in next week, Thursday, 7 p.m. to the People's Radio to find out more about the technological singularity, your place in it, and where we're going to go as a species.